Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you a game from the CasterMuse Narak Star League. We have in the top position ZeLoT. This guy, well, he's a Zerg player, and he's probably the most aggressive of the pro gamers right now. Just really looking to finish the game anytime he can. And then we have Mighty, who is the best Protoss, who is not technically a pro gamer. He has not made it into ASL yet. He's done very well in the amateur league and made it into the top 4 there, but not quite able to get into ASL. So a very strong player. I've really grown to enjoy his Protoss versus Zerg, so looking forward to that here. Now the map is Ascension, again 3-player Blue Storm, and the other main being over here. So yeah, let's see how this ends up going. ZeLoT sending an Overlord in the wrong direction, and we'll see what Mighty does as far as his opening build order. Maybe it's going to be a Nexus first. We've definitely seen a lot of that so far in this tournament. You know, maybe you feel like you got to take an edge early on in the game and try to get a little bit of an advantage. ZeLoT over here definitely looks like he's going to be going for a hatchery first. Wouldn't be surprised about that either. Yep, the drone going to be sent out. And going to throw that down here momentarily. So hatchery first it is, and certainly Mighty going to follow with his own Nexus first. His minerals really starting to bank up quite a bit, sending right around 300 minerals to nail that Nexus down. And he'll probably go Forge right afterwards. I mean, you can technically throw down the gateway, but you literally just die to Zergling rushes. So we'll see about that. But sends this probe over and is waiting. Yeah, you can see how he does not even mine the minerals. He says, no, we got to get this immediately to try to fend off any possible attacks that come. So throws on the Forge, and now we'll go scouting with this probe. Kind of, I guess, luckily for him, ZeLoT not scouting him first with that scouting Overlord, going to the wrong main base to begin. Pool, though, not even a halfway done, so Mighty going to be completely fine with his fast expansion. Looks like he wants to throw down a gateway after his... I guess he's going to actually just go cannon first here. And in fact, he scouted in the wrong direction as well, so the cannon first definitely makes sense. I guess maybe if you get up here and see the hatchery timing, there's a possibility you can go gate first, but that wasn't the case here. So Mighty turns around and going to go find out where ZeLoT is at. Of course, neither of them know each other's build orders so far. Kind of getting pretty late into the game to not have it scouted your opponent. So yeah, the probe going back. Third base up for ZeLoT. And just gas on the way. There's the gateway. Yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary. 4 lings being made. Of course, they're not going to get too much done other than try to slow down this probe from scouting what's in here. So he will not quite get in. And this is where it can be a little bit scary, right? If your probe does not get in at all, are they throwing down a Hydra stent? It could be. But you got to keep that probe alive. You got to continually run it around and see what you can actually end up spotting. You lose that probe, I tell you, I bet you Hydra's Den will go down right away. And in fact, it is anyways, since he has not been scouted. This could end up being a quick one. I told you, ZeLoT is a very aggressive pro gamer and always looking to end it if he can. Now, staying on top of this probe, the one thing he must do is prevent the probe from going through these eggs, which isn't too hard. It's very doable for ZeLoT. You just got to make sure that you are on top of staying in front of it and not letting it get through. There's no way for it to drill. You have to see the minerals to do so. Ooh, a little bit of extra damage there from Mighty. We see Hydra's speed is being researched. The Stargate is on the way. Oh, some hull damage being taken. Mighty has got to be careful with this, but he is sending up a ZeLoT now. That's important. Now, I think the idea here will probably be the ZeLoT can push in one angle and the probe can go to the other. So the lings can't be in both locations at once. He tries to slip in. Whoa. Just barely turns around before ZeLoT gets the attack off there. Now here come the ZeLoTs, waiting for that second one. Probe trying to make its way back up. Is it going to get in? It sees the Hydra. It sees the very first Hydra that pops out. This is big. Mighty slipping in there, getting a gigantic scout. Look at that. A second Forge being made because he knows he's going to lose the first one. And another cannon going down. But we actually want to see more than just 2 cannons, I would say. This is going to be very scary to end up holding if ZeLoT really pulls the trigger on that production. He is getting range now. Macro hatchery as well. So this might not be like a complete all-in or anything. Sometimes there are builds where you just kind of make a handful of Hydras to kill the wall, and you're trying to force cannons in that situation. So yeah, he brings these up just out of cannon range, starting to hit that wall a little bit. With the speed coming down, you know, obviously you can look at that and say, oh, this is even more scary. You normally get speed first for Hydra rushes, whereas if you're only going to pick off the wall, obviously the range upgrade is technically a little bit stronger. But with the speed upgrade, you can kind of force them into more cannons. Now, I don't know how many Hydras he's going to end up making. Looks like we have about 6 so far, and now he's droning. So this is enough to definitely make you nervous. Okay, a couple more to push back the Corsair that's on top of his Overlords. But here we go. He's going to start moving up once again. That range upgrade almost done here. Oh, the Zelots start to come out, but as more Hydras come down, yeah, has to turn that around for now. All right, going to start pelting this gateway. Another cannon on the way. Of course, this +1 is coming up, as is Zelott legs. Not going up to Dark Templar or anything flimsy like that. Instead, just focusing heavily upon getting the speed upgrade, getting the +1 so he can walk out with his Zealots and get some damage done. And the Hydras, I mean, they're doing their job here for Zelott. Killing off the entire wall. The gateway's gone. The forge is gone. The pylon going to be picked off here as well. And, you know, it's an investment from Zelott, but I think he probably feels reasonably good about this opening. Another macro hatch on the way. Already getting into that Lurker upgrade. If you skip the Spire, this is a pretty common thing to go into Hydra Lurker very quickly. Overlord speed coming as well. Looks like we do have the most hurt Corsair ever up here in the top left. Okay. Yeah, looks like it's just going to be constant unit production here from Mighty. He really wants to make a lot of Zealots and get out onto the map. Does not make any more Corsairs, and I mean, rightfully so, right? Your opponent does not even have a Spire as of now. We might see that Spire added later, but right now his gas, his minerals, better spent on making sure that he has enough Hydras and Lurkers to hold on. Now, here comes his first attack. I love that, utilizing this tiny choke there. You don't want to fight single file. You need your Zealots to actually get that surface area upon the Hydras. So they're going to go ahead and wrap around here. The Hydra's going to pull away before they get there, but a couple Overlords left near his base. Those are going to be picked off very quickly by this quite hurt Corsair. So nice job there from Mighty to pull that out of the top left corner. Now the Zealots running forward, Hydra's running back. We have Lurkers morphing right now, not quite half done, so the Zelot's going to be able to fight for a little bit, but some pretty good SimCity. He's going in on these really small angles. He's not really getting the surface area he was looking for. Looks like he's going to just start running away from this area now. Look for somewhere else to deal damage. Oh, this is the place. There's not much there, but morphs the Lurkers to make the full egg wall. In the meantime, Lurkers coming up for the burrow. A couple of Hydras getting picked off. He is getting a few of these drones as well. Unmorphs there also, and will push back the Zelott. It looks like, honestly, I think that Zelott held that very, very well. Mighty didn't get the damage done that he was looking for there. So now we have Lurker Hydra coming out onto the map. Maybe some containment strategy coming up. Yet another macro hatchery. So we're going up to 6, +1 ranged attack. Almost done here for the Hydras and Lurkers. Mighty looks like he wants to take a base. Take that third. See if he's able to do so. I don't know. This is a little bit scary, right? This is like a classic thing for a Lurker Hydra player to do. You burrow on a high ground location like this that's very hard to break, and then you can pressure things like bases below. Now, the probe gets picked off before it even gets started, but we have a Robo out. We have that +1 armor on the way, some High Templars mixed in, Dragoons already out with range coming. Certainly Observers going to be the order of that Robo. A lot of gateways going up to 8, so Mighty going to field a gigantic army here, which I think is probably just correct. Otherwise, the Lurker Hydra might end up running you over, as that is really what Zelott is macroing here, right? He's got 6 hatch Hydra Lurker and 43 drones to back it up. Now, we do see the Spire coming, so that could come into play later on. A Mutalisk tech switch, possibly for some harassment damage on the probes, as well as picking off High Templars. That definitely, I mean, it wouldn't be for anything else. You definitely don't need Scourge or anything like that right now. Okay, looks like Mighty going to push through these. Oh, gets the storm off, but the eggs hatch, so he was looking to kill those eggs. Unfortunately, come out a little bit too quickly. Observers are here. I think he's just going to push this back. The Hydras come up and start focusing down everything that they can. The Lurker's adding in a bit of damage, but I think Mighty's army might be big enough. More rallies coming out. Uh-oh, though. More Hydras come down from the north, and they start to pop everything. As the Hydras die, the Dragoons will be pushed back easily, and now the Lurker's coming forward, getting those great burrows down and pushing him down that ramp. Oh, even gets the final snipe there on the High Templar. Painful. ZeLoT holds this containment. Okay, the Dragoons, though, coming back out as another round finishes. It's a long rally for ZeLoT to get in here, don't forget, right? Most of his hatches are here, and he's got to send them all the way across the map, up this ramp, down this ramp, into here if he wants to contain on this ramp. Obviously, you can't do much here. You're not going to force, you know, units through single file to fight or anything like that. Oh, but he has drop ready. Look at this. A big Hydra drop. 12 Hydras, 2 Lurkers being ferried to the main base. Now, Mighty trying to break through, but sees the Overlords coming in. Does he believe him? Yeah, he turns around before anything unloads. So he knows that this is a real threat. The Lurkers burrowing, the probes trying to get out before they get massacred, and he does escape with the majority of the probes. Now, the Dragoons coming up to help clear. He's got to be careful about these observers. They can be targeted down with the detection of those Overlords. But it looks like he'll actually deal with this rather well. Yeah, I don't think he really took that much damage. Loses a few probes, a few cannons. Now he knows that this is a real possibility in the future. ZeLoT doesn't really get too much into position here, so it looks like Mighty still, while cleaning that up, will clear out his third base area. But ZeLoT still has a lot of powerful options here. He can do that attack I was talking about before, where you start sieging mass Lurkers, sending your Hydras up here, and this becomes very hard to break and threatens third bases. But he also has the possibility of re-dropping into here. So we see a chunk of army left over, some cannons being added in. He's got to take both threats seriously, and to divide your army correctly there can be very difficult for Protoss. So we'll see how Mighty deals with that. Now, +1 is done on the Hydra Lurkers, and he's actually getting +2. It's quite far along. We normally don't see that as often, but since he's on just Hydra Lurker, it seems to make some sense. Look at this, coming in for a bit of a flank here. Nice Side Storm on that bottom group, trying to target down some of the High Templars, but honestly, Mighty deals with that pretty darn well. Gonna pick off some more Hydras here. He does have a couple observers. Not quite time to break this yet, though, he decides. Waits for some more units to come out of that main base. Of course, you got to be wary about possible incoming drops, but he's bringing his entire army out. He's decided he needs a third base. He's going to try to break through this area. Some good storms come down. The good spread of ZeLoT Dragoon will clear this out. ZeLoT's army being pushed back. Does have a few on the high ground there. Definitely can break it with what he has, but it will be a bit expensive without the ZeLoTs there to really tank against these Hydras. Throws down another storm. Quite a few goons lost, but holds this overall position for now. More Hydras coming down. Ooh, that was a nice, juicy storm right there. But the rallies of Mighty come out, and he starts to dominate. Don't forget, we have a few Hydras being sent here, a few Overlords as well. So I think he's getting ready for a counter drop. Look at this, more Hydras retreating. I think right now is the drop time. This is a perfect time to get a drop off. Looks like it's only going to be 8 Hydras for now. Only 2 cannons, so they will take that out very, very easily indeed. Mighty, though, walking across the map. We see the Overlords spreading, trying to figure out where everything's at. A small Hydra counterattack with no units here could force a cancel on that third base. Here's the Hydra drop into the main. That Forge going to be taken down. The 2 cannons already falling, but Mighty going to try to go for a kill here. Does he have enough units? There's not a lot here for ZeLoT as he's spread his army pretty thin for the counter harassment himself. Getting down on top of those Lurkers. The Lurkers get popped rather quickly. A sparse amount of Hydras here start to get stormed a little bit, and the high ground Dragoons pelting down their fire. Now, a little bit of a flank from the Hydras that were hitting that third base. He did force a cancel over there, but can he hold on here as well? We don't see any Psystorm, just some Dragoons and an Archon. Maybe a bit of damage onto the drones, but is that really going to be enough? We're going to have a lot more Hydras hatching here momentarily, and without those Psystorms ready, I'm getting a little bit nervous about Mighty retaining this army. Picks off one of the hatches. That, of course, is very, very nice. Pickups that production, but hasn't killed that many drones. The Hydra's coming out. Okay, a Psystorm is ready. Makes an Archon now, but this army getting very, very small. A couple more High Templars coming, but nothing here really to support them. Looks like the Hydras have been mostly pulled out of that main base as some Zealots went up to clear those out. Another rally here from Mighty. Okay, let's take a look. His economy not looking super hot. He hasn't been able to get that third base down. I think Mighty might be kind of all in here. He really wants to get a bust off. See if he can do it. That is a nice storm there from Mighty. Another beautiful storm there in the mineral line, taking down Hydras and drones alike. A big group of Hydras coming from the side. Can he get the storm off before this gets picked off? I don't think so. It's just like walking into death. Another one here as well, not quite ready there. Zelot's coming up and doing a pretty good job of tanking. Unfortunately, did miss that one storm. A lot is going on, though. Looks like there was another counter drop here. The mineral patches are drying up very, very quickly at the moment. Not a lot of units left over here on either side. Quite a bit more supply right now for Mighty, but his economy is just about to dry up. So if ZeLoT can pull this out a little bit longer, I think that's going to be really, really good for him. A lot of Hydra Lurkers, still Goons, Zealots, and Templars being macroed out from Mighty. He's trying to take a third base. Observer just kind of going around scouting for him a little bit. He's got to make sure there's nothing else out there on the map. If he can keep ZeLoT just on 3 bases during this and kind of retain his army, it's definitely still a game Mighty can win. But can he do that? Let's see. ZeLoT has no other tech. It's really just Hydra Lurker right now. Okay, starts to go forward. A big Psystorm goes down. The Zelot's getting on top of absolutely everything. Zelot's army starting to disintegrate. The Zelot's still at high enough health that they can tank and deal that damage to those Hydras. He moves towards that third base. Is Mini going to be able to break him? Let's see here. The Hydra's running back behind that hatchery wall, but this is where the Dragoons really start to shine, putting on that extra damage from great range. A huge couple Psystorms here, and I think Mighty might actually break ZeLoT after ZeLoT had so many great moves. Is he actually going to kill off this third base? That would be a game win for sure, and almost no units left. GG. ZeLoT is defeated by Mighty.